Hey guys, good morning. So it's already like almost 7 o'clock and I've already had 1 cup of coffee. Got this one here, but I ain't gonna drink it right now because it's like scalding hot. And I am off on my way. For this class that I'll be taking today. So super excited. It's hard putting lip gloss on and holding my phone at the same time. Super excited for a little bit of change. Well, it's a big change. And not only that, it's a huge change. So I'm just going to walk through these doors and trust and believe, and God's got this. God's got a plan, so I'll keep you guys updated. So yeah, it's like 6:44. I've got to be up in Knoxville actually within about an hour or so. And then after that, I got to go to Oak Ridge. So anyways, guys, I'll holler at you in a minute. Hey guys, so anyways, figured I would come on here and drive a minute. I'm just about up here to where I need to get to be, but the sunrise has been so pretty. Like the colors, like starting out it was like a dark, like blue color, and then as I was driving it just kept getting lighter and lighter and brighter and brighter. And anyways, this song came on, and I've heard it before, but it's called, I think it's called Nobody Loves Me Like You Do. And like when the song started playing, it was talking about like the sunrise and the sunsets, like what God paints his picture for us. And it was just amazing. Like, it was great. And, you know, God really does paint us beautiful pictures day by day. Like, there's always something beautiful in each day, whether we see it or we don't. His hand is perfect. Everything that he creates is perfect. And anyways, I was just reminded by that. It's just, you know, there's so many things that we take for granted for, like on the day-to-day basis. And that's all of us. Like, we can each find something that we take in, you know, that we're ungrateful for. Anyways, it's not that cold today. I don't even know what the temperature is. I don't think this car says, or it might, I don't know. I haven't fooled with it enough. I need to cut that off. But anyways, guys, I'm still halfway asleep. This new car that I have, it gets it, guys. Like, I mean, before you know it, you're freaking going. And it gets it. It's old Betsy. Betsy can go. So, I actually really enjoy it. It's a nice car. And this cup is Dunkin' Donuts. I've had it for a couple of years now. And it keeps your coffee scalded hot. Like, you have to be careful. One morning I was in a hurry, and I had been at work for an hour. Well, I'm thinking, well, it's cooled off by now. I pulled it back to get us up. No, it scalded my mouth. I was like, oops. So now I'm very cautious when I do drink it. So this morning I had toasted coconut. I think that's the name of it. And then this one here, I made me a blueberry. The wild blueberry by Green Mountain, which is the bomb. Oh my gosh, I had a bunch that I had got on clearance and stuff, so I had been drinking those and for freaking a month or so. And I was getting burned out, and I was like, I need my regular coffee back. And so when I got it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I was missing. I know, coffee addict tier 101, right? Gotta have that coffee. So a perfect combination at Dunkin' Donuts, what I get and what I've been getting. I either get it cold or hot. And y'all should try it sometimes. It is toasted almond see, I think it's toasted almond and coconut. Is that it? And then sometimes I'll add blueberry and then add a little bit of sweet and low to it. It is perfection. Y'all should try it. However, yesterday, me and Gracie ordered one. She got something else. Excuse me. And I didn't get sweet and low, and it was so stout. So I ended up having to pour a little of her coffee in mine to make it a little sweet, which it turned out good. So might need to add some sugar sweetener to it because it is stout. And it feels so weird not going to work at the nursing home. Which, I mean, I'm still PR in there and I can work how many hours I want, but it's still weird. Like, Sunday, I didn't work, and we went to church, which was good. Like, I'm really praying about getting this job because when I do, I have every weekend off and I can go to church more than what I need. Like, because on Sundays, we were having to work every other Sunday, and it was just the Sunday that you were off, you were tired, and I mean, that's no excuse, but the job that I do is super hard, so I'm looking for some change. Ooh, look at this. Like, isn't that gorgeous? Ooh, guys, it's like 9:30. I had to wait in line to get this signed up for these classes and stuff. Let me see if I can set that right here. Ooh, Lord, help me. Hopefully that crap won't fall. But I have my first class for what I'm going for today at 12:30. So I'm super excited. So I have been just taking this leap of faith, and I'm standing on the leap of faith because, like, going from CNA work to this other work that I'm going to be doing, yeah, it's a huge difference. And but I'm super excited. It'll be more money and it will be better off for me and my kids. So anyways, that being said, luckily I had got there earlier. Tons of people there. So by the time I had filled out my paperwork, there were just people swamping in, and then the line was like wrapping around, and by the time I get out of there, it was wrapped around all the way outside the door. I was like, thank God I got here early. So excuse me. So I did bring me some breakfast. I do know that they feed us every day for lunch, so that's a good thing. So for my breakfast, what I'm having is an apple, an orange, and a banana, guys. All three of these things. I just took a selfie with my fruit. So yeah, there goes some sour rings. And then the choice of my perfume, I love this stuff. It is good, y'all. It is the On the Waves, which I've shared on here before, but this stuff's the bomb. It's so fresh and like relaxing feeling. For to drink, I've been craving Diet Pepsi. This stuff is really good. It don't even taste like Diet. And then I've got my Powerade that I opened yesterday, and I just took 2 sips of it, so I brought that. Drank coffee this morning. Got another cup of coffee here, y'all, which it's almost cold, but love it. So yeah, change is different. Change is good. Stepping out of your comfort zone is different, and but sometimes, again, we got to take that leap of faith. So that's what I'm doing. So anywho, I'm currently, like, I have like 3 hours to burn, and I don't want to have to drive all the way back home, which is like 40 minutes away, 40 minutes. So I'm going to eat this, and then I'm going to go into the Dollar Tree and just look around, like, because I haven't been up here at this DT in forever. So I've got my sack here, and I'm going to put my peelings in my bag, kids. These little oranges are good. So went over to my mama's house, and I seen my brother for a little bit and my aunt, and walked around, and I looked at all the things blooming, and just all of the memories that was there in the past. And then we went down this dirt road that, you know, I was pretty much raised on, riding horses and just riding bikes, and it was just a good day yesterday. Life is too short not to be happy. Like, and this has been on my mind for a long time, for the past months. Like, we get caught up in life, and we get caught up in, like, I do this YouTube for fun, and, you know, I've met good friends, and I put my life out there for you guys, and, you know, I'm not, you know, anything to brag about, but God loves me, and He sees who I am, and He knows my heart, and He knows where I stand, and I'm not perfect, but yes, I put my life out there and all this stuff, but on the other flip side of YouTube, and I've talked about it before, there's a negative side. And if you've done YouTube as long as I have, you'll know that other side can be difficult. For years, I would sit and read stuff and ponder on it and think on it, and just be like, gosh, I can't believe they think this of me, or gosh, I can't believe that they think that I look like this, or there was a lot of nasty comments that I was like, you know, overweight, and I looked fat, and which that's not why I'm eating healthier and stuff like that. It's just because, for one, I do want to lose weight, not much more now because I've lost quite a bit, but I want to be healthy for my kids, because my parents died at a really young age, like 37 and 40. So I've got to get my body at good, which, I mean, eating all that sugar, I was eating sugar all the time. Candy bars, lots of like Starburst, Skittles, just junk. Consuming it. I feel much better now. But I would let that consume me, and I'm like, I can't believe these people think this about me. You know, I'm not fat. I might be a little bit of overweight, but I'm not obese or anything like that. And I would catch myself looking in the mirror and like, man, maybe they're right. You know, my face does look fat, or, you know, another good one is she looks pregnant. She's got a big belly on her. Come on, kids. I've had 4 kids. I'm not going to have the perfect body out there. And I'm 32, almost 33. So I'm not going to have that killer ab effect and all this stuff. And, you know, they made fun of, like, just different things, which before it bothered me, now it don't. Because, like, I prayed about some stuff, and about 2 or 3 months ago, I was doing my Bible study, and the Lord just came down and took it all away. Like, He literally did. People can think that He didn't, but He did. And so, and I done a video on that. 2 videos, and I deleted both of them. I just didn't want to share it. I thought that I did, and I thought that it was meant to be, but I let it go. But anyway, so all of that, you know, the negative side of YouTube, and here lately, in the past months, I don't read any of that garbage. If I see it on my YouTube, I'll just delete it. But as far as reading it and going to sites and reading it, I don't do it. You know, I don't, anything that consumes, that you read and you put into your heart, you're going to start thinking on that, and like having all these discouragement thoughts and sadness. You know what? Life is way too short to sit and ponder on that junk. Like, there's more to life than people bullying and cutting people down. And, you know, instead of doing that, be a help to somebody. Be a daggum help to somebody, because people does not know what one struggles with. They don't. They really don't. You can judge a book by its cover, but until you're in their mind and you've walked in their shoes and their lifestyle, you cannot judge anybody. And I'm thankful to say that God has helped me more than anything with that. I've been asked a couple of messages, why do I not vlog as much as I did? Why don't I talk as much as I did? There for a while, I had got so disgusted with all the negative comments, and I was going on these sites and reading all the negative comments, stuff that I knew that wasn't even true. And it was just consuming my spirit, and I'm like, no more. I have more things to worry about than things that don't even matter, or things that people see in a different way. Because you know what? God knows everything, and at the end of the day, He knows exactly who I am. He knows exactly what I've done, and He knows exactly where I'm going to go in life. So I don't worry about it no more. What I do know is change is coming. Change has been coming, and that God has a plan. And I do know that God's going to start opening doors for me in my life, because that day that I prayed about it, and I had made a video on this, but He gave me a word, and I had a long video on it, but it wasn't the right time. And I was praying. I think I might have shared a little of this, but I was praying, and like I was writing down my prayer, and prophecy came over, and I started writing, and I was writing it down, and I was prophesying. Like, this sounds crazy, but these words were coming out from God, and it was just like blowing my mind. And He told me that when I clean all of myself up and give it to Him and let Him take over in my life, that there's going to be many doors opened for me, and that people's going to be amazed and shocked and in disbelief. He told me these things, and I believe it. I have felt the change coming within myself. I've felt a different Swift in myself, and I've just felt it. And I'm looking forward to what God has in store for me and my kids. Like, God's really been good to us. And I have 4 of the best kids that one can ever even fathom. Like, my kids are so intelligent. They're beautiful. They have a heart of gold, and they're each a jewel. Like, each one of my kids are jewels. And this change that I'm doing, it's scary. And, I cut up and giggle and laugh and stuff and excited. I'm excited. But at the same time, it's scared. But until you take that leap of faith and step in what God has in store for you, you're never going to get there. You're never going to make the accomplishment in life until you step through that door. So, I'm doing it. I can't see it, but I believe it, that God's got His hands on this. And I'm stepping in faith, y'all. Because God has a plan. Man, there's so many people out here in this world that's on drugs, and I mean, it's horrible. It is so horrible what it does to them, and how it affects them, and how it affects people around them that loves them and cares for them. It affects not only them, but it affects their children and their family and their friends, and the freaking public. It affects everyone. And these people that are on it, or these people that are doing things that don't need to be done, or you're pointing a finger at them, or you're doing this, don't do that. You have to have a boldness with people, But don't cut somebody down to make them feel like you shouldn't be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that. You know, pray for them. Pray for these people. Let them know, hey, I'm going to keep you for a distance, but I'm praying for you. I love you. You can come out of this, you know. It's just, it blows my mind. It really does. It's just unreal. The pastor preached on, are you salty? And it was a very good demonstration yesterday. You know, it's like we're the salt of the earth. And, you know, is your salt salty enough? Like, or you could be saved, but you're not in God's blessings and spreading what God's put in your life to spread. That really didn't make sense, but he demonstrated it better than me. But, you know, if a salt loses its flavor, then it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And yes, we can be Christians, but are you just sitting back in your easy chair and, you know, living in a sour attitude or a negative attitude? Or, you know, God wants the best for each of us. And he can't help us until we help our own self. I'm going to say something. These past about 6 months, I had been through some things that not hardly a lot of people know about. And it was a and it was stuff that I brought on myself. But it was a very difficult time for me. It was a learning time for me. Actually, the past 2 years. Very, very learning time for me. And I remember probably about the second month into that, a couple of months ago, I was in this deep, dark pit. I could feel God there, but it was like just he was there. And it was like I was just stuck. And day by day, it was awful. You know, I pressed through it. I went through the motions. I went to work. I done what I had to do. But it was one of the worst times of my life. And to believe it or not, I kind of shied away from everyone. Like Myra, I would talk to every day almost. I shied away from her. I didn't see her. Didn't hardly talk to her. All that I'd done, literally, was work. When I had my kids, I would, you know, do what I had to do, cook for them, you know, be there for them, talk to them, the routine. And then when I didn't have my kids, I would work, come home, and sit. And I would stare, and I would look, and I would feel so alone. I felt discouraged. It was the worstest time in my life. Like, I literally felt like I was sinking. And I was praying. I said, God, I'm here. I said, I don't know how lower I can get. What's going on? But it's okay. Let me tell you why. Because in this particular time, God had me right where he wanted me to. Like, he had me right where he wanted me. Like, he had me right where he wanted me. Alone. He had me alone to where I would fully 100% depend on him. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm a very people person. Like, I like talking to people. I have a bubbly personality. Like, I never meet a stranger. I'm always talking to somebody or, doing something for somebody. But in this particular time, I just felt so alone. And I felt broken. I felt defeated. I felt like a disappointment. But during this time and these hours, I said, well, I've let this person down. I've let that person down. And I let this person down. But God. And God reminded me, maybe you're here for a reason. maybe you were brought right here to your knees to where I can get you out of that and open your eyes and let you see. Maybe, just maybe, it's a test. And it was. And it was a dark, dark, dark test. And it was a scary test. And it was one of those places where, like, before I was alone, but I had all these people in my background that was kind of there, and I knew they were there. But when I was smack down alone, I knew that to get out of this, I had to pull my own self out with God. Like, God had to help pull me out, but I had to do it for myself. I had to be alone for this short period of time to fully trust in Him. And that was one of the most scariest things for that last month. Oh my God, I can't cry because I got to go to class here in a little bit. But that last month was so scary, and I was praying, I'm like, man, I can't take no more of this. And I was like, God, you're going to have to help me. You're going to have to move in this situation. Help me to help my own self. And He just reminded me time and time again that He loved me. And He said, when everyone leaves, I'm here. And I remember just praying, and I could feel His presence. And I remember going to sleep and listening to Kim Pother every night. And little by little, the darkness started going away. And the sunlight was there. And I was speaking positive things into my soul. And God helped me through so much. Like, he just lifted my spirit, and He let me know when everybody leaves you and you feel alone, that I'm here. And He was so much there, and like just that still small voice that was there whenever I just felt darkness all around. I knew that my God was covering me, and I knew that God was carrying me through this difficult time, because it was, oh gosh, it was so hard. But I'm thankful for that, because, and this, I don't know if this makes sense. A lot of this don't make sense, I know, but I didn't want to do YouTube. And y'all know that I'm all about doing YouTube, and like, because I love doing it. Like, I'm a people person. I like meeting new people, and I just like sharing stuff. I like to sing, and singing's my life, because singing encourages me, and it encourages my spirit. And it's just, when I sing, I can feel God, and I just can't explain it. Like, just singing brings life into my soul. But I'm so thankful. Now, during that time that I was going through this stuff, it was hard. And it wasn't the place where I needed to be. But I needed to be there. Like, for me, I didn't want to be there. It was like, what's going on here? This man's watching me over here. And, but looking back now, in those lonely hours when I was all alone, I experienced something that I had never experienced before. Like, nobody but God. Like, nobody. I felt like everybody had just disappeared out of my life. And a lot of it was my fault. A lot of it was just me backing away. Because when I get in this deep, dark hole, like really bad, I shut down. Like, I'm already not one of these people to talk a whole lot. Like, I mean, I talk to y'all about some things. But a lot of the hard, difficult things in my life that's happened to me in my life and everything, I shut down and I don't talk about it. But I'm thankful for that, because now I know. And I mean, I knew before, but I never experienced this situation. When I'm all alone and I'm by myself, I know who's there. I know who was there that dug me out of that miry clay when I was in that darkness. Guys, problems are real. Depression's real. Sickness is real. All of that stuff's real. But God. If you have all of that crap going on in your life, and the whole world's in turmoil, or whatever it is that you're faced with, but God, as long as we have Him in our life, number one, we have nothing to fear. We have nothing to worry about. And you know, people, what really gets me in life is how people point the finger and judge when they don't know the whole thing about anything, or they can sit and just judge a picture by what they think or what they, assume or whatever. But God. And what I'm getting at is, I had come to a point in my life after going through all of that deep, dark crap a couple of months ago, and finally getting to where I don't care. I'm at the point in my life where I know exactly who I am. I know everything about me. I know me as a person, and I know my heart, and I also know the good traits about me, and I know the bad sides about me. We each have them. We each have, pros and cons to us. We're human. But I do know my heart, and I do know that I have a heart for God, and I do know that I love God, and I do know that I have a heart to help people, because I know what it's like to feel alone. And I know what it's like to see somebody that is sick and they feel like nobody's there to help them. I know these things. And I know that everything in life that we face happens for a reason. Now, we have, choices. Sometimes we can bring the crap up on ourselves. And let me tell you, I've done that. I got stuck in this place in my life to where it was just a really trying time and a really hard time for me to be. But I learned so much. I learned so much. I remember being so bitter and so cold. My heart felt bitter and aggravated and cold just by crap that had happened in the past. But God was forever faithful, and He was there and helped me every step of the way. And so now I don't care. Yeah, it hurts me when people say bad stuff about me, but look at what they done to God. They mocked Him, they cursed Him, they accused Him, they done so many of these things. But I'm at the point in my life where I don't care. I have got to make me happy. I've got to be happy for myself, to be happy. I don't put my happiness in your hand. I don't put my happiness in a man's hand. I don't. I put my happiness for me. And it's took me a whole long time to understand that. A whole long time. But God is so good, and He's so faithful. And the change that I felt amongst my own self is just outstanding. It just blows my mind. Because the difference that I feel is day and night. I don't worry about petty things that don't matter anymore. I don't. When I wasn't doing YouTube, I just about even quit doing YouTube. I literally just about quit doing it. But then I'm this has been a platform to me. Yeah, I guess y'all have seen faults. I'm not perfect. You've seen my ups, my downs, my sad times, my happy times. But this is the real my life. And this has been my platform to really help people and to encourage them to know that you're not alone. You're never alone. And I didn't mean to get in all of that, but I did. And it's okay. But y'all like my new Shop Miss Say little dollar necklace? There was two of them. There's this one, and then there's a little, I think it was a moon, half moon. But anyways, I figured I'd share that with you guys. But guys, don't let people bring you down. Rise above it. Let it go. Let people think what they think, because at the end of the day, people's going to think what they want to think about you. People's going to say what they want to say about you. But when you lay your head down at night and go to sleep, just know where you stand and who you are. That's all that matters. That really is all that matters. And this is good. This is the Blueberry Mountain Coffee, yo. Gotta love it. So I'm literally about to pee. I know that's TMI, but I'm about to get up off of here, go into this lovely DT and see if there's any new good deals. Yes, indeed I am. I've got to go pee like super bad. Oh gosh, it smells so good. Like it's the bomb. But God has been good. He has been so good. Again, if y'all have not picked up one of these, if y'all are lip gloss girls like me, get you one of these LA Colors lip gloss. They're from Dollar Tree and they're phenomenal. Just saying.